Lil Scrappy isn't holding back any longer. Secrets were revealed, fists were exchanged. And Stevie J was caught in the crossfire of a betrayal so severe that it could end careers. This isn't reality TV. It's real life. And guess who lit the match? Bambi outside the courthouse today. The drama wasn't just legal, it was deadly. Cameras captured Lil Scrappy lunging directly at Stevie J without hesitation or warning, just pure, unadulterated rage. And guess what? Rumor has it that this explosion was, simply put, it was the result of a betrayal that was so brutal and personal that it broke the already shaky foundation of their messy triangle with Bambi. Now, here's the real deal. What? It was that said in that courtroom that made Scrappy want to throw his hands on the scene, and more importantly, why is everyone suddenly quieting down? Because what you're about to hear is more than just drama. It's betrayal, it's revenge, it's the truth they don't want you to know. Let's dissect it and go back in time. In the middle of this boiling pot, Lil Scrappy is pacing, his jaw clenched, his fists balled up. Why? Because inside that courthouse, a bomb had just detonated. Bambi's betrayal had finally been exposed. And the man she allegedly worked with was none other than Stevie J. Now, let's not act brand new. If you've been following this story, you already know Scrappy and Bambi's story. Accusations, cheating scandals, social media jabs, custody drama, you name it. However, what recently surfaced in court took things to a whole new level. And it wasn't just betrayal. It was deliberate sabotage. According to leaked documents presented during a custody hearing, Bambi had been surreptitiously working with Stevie J behind the scenes, feeding him information about Scrappy's finances, parenting style, and even alleged personal struggles in order to bolster her case and undermine Scrappy's credibility. The betrayal didn't end there, either. According to court transcripts, Bambi and Stevie J allegedly met several times in private for strategy meetings rather than business, leaving everyone in the room in shock. One unnamed source close to the case told reporters this wasn't just a woman fighting for custody. This was a takedown mission. Bambi wanted to end Scrappy, not just win. You're probably wondering why Stevie J, of all people, would get involved in this. What he stands to gain from helping Bambi undermine Scrappy. Rumor has it that Stevie J had his own agenda. It seems that tension had been building between him and Scrappy ever since the notorious Love and Hip Hop Atlanta reunion. When Stevie made some shady remarks about Bambi looking better off without Scrappy, at first people assumed it was just TV drama, but it turns out the shade went deeper. Rumor has it that Stevie J saw Bambi as a possible ally in his quiet plan to increase his power in the show's upcoming reboot, and supporting her, particularly during a contentious high-profile court case, gave him the kind of controversy clout he's always thrived on. So here we have cameras showing Bambi leaving the courthouse with her legal team acting like she just won the Super Bowl. Stevie J smirking a few feet behind her, and Scrappy waiting and watching boiling. Witnesses claim that the moment Stevie J stepped outside, Scrappy charged. There were no warnings, just raw emotion. In a fit of rage, security guards attempted to restrain him, but he managed to get past one of them enough to deliver a punch that allegedly grazed Stevie's jaw before they were both pulled apart. Let's face it, within seconds, Twitter went crazy. Chuck Scrappy's photos went viral. TMZ released exclusive footage before the hour was up. And within minutes, fans, bloggers, and even other reality stars began to weigh in. Erica Dixon, Scrappy's ex and his daughter's mother, tweeted before deleting, told the real shocker. Mama D knew it was only a matter of time before she came out swinging verbally. Naturally, she went live on Instagram as soon as she heard what had happened and said, "I've been told y'all Bambi was poisoned, but now y'all want to listen. My son ain't crazy, he's a man." Really? People don't fold. K. Michelle reposted a video of the fight with the caption, "It's always the ones smiling in your face, pushing things too far." She removed screenshots that were compelling but unverified, showing purported direct messages between Bambi and Stevie J about Scrappy's weaknesses and how to use them in court. Were they real, and did they go viral? The courtroom tapes revealed a darker story, as evidenced by a recently leaked audio recording that was accidentally captured by a courtroom microphone left on after the session. Bambi could be heard laughing softly and stating, "That was easier than I thought." He took the bait. The tape ends immediately after that, but those 6 words were enough to turn the internet upside down. What was the bait? Was the courtroom confrontation planned? Was the entire legal battle a setup to emotionally break Scrappy? People began removing receipts. Fans found old Love and Hip Hop clips in which Bambi and Stevie J were seen whispering to each other in the corners, giving Scrappy side eyes. One fan even made a timeline connecting each time together. Bambi and Stevie J appeared on screen during pivotal moments in Scrappy's decline, from his financial difficulties to his numerous public breakdowns. Suddenly, what had appeared to be a typical messy reality TV drama was beginning to take the form of a long-term psychological operation. And people were demanding answers. Was Bambi's betrayal purely emotional, or was it also financial? Did she assist Stevie J in gaining access to Scrappy's private information? Were there legal ramifications beyond custody disputes? In the meantime, Stevie J's camp remained silent. His team declined interviews, and his Instagram comments were locked. However, silence in such cases speaks loudly. And that's where things get even messier, because just as the attack video went viral, new rumors surfaced that suggested this wasn't the first time. Stevie J attempted to use personal relationships to sabotage someone behind the scenes. An anonymous producer from the show's previous seasons claimed that Stevie plays a long game and is charming on the outside. However, he's always calculated, so if he saw Bambi as a pawn to checkmate Scrappy, he wouldn't hesitate. So instead of being angry, people were suspicious. What else don't we know? What other backroom deals have been made? If Bambi was working with Stevie J the entire time, who else is involved? And then we pick up exactly where we left off, with a sealed legal document leaking online and shocking Atlanta's legal and entertainment circles. The file purportedly submitted by Lil Scrappy's legal team wasn't just this. It was a strategic nuke directed at Bambi and Stevie J. And once word spread, it seemed like every blog, podcast, and Instagram gossip page hit DEFCON 1. Now, let's get started. The document, which was classified as confidential for court use, only contained some shocking accusations. It stated in bold letters that respondent Bambi had been in constant contact with a third party, Stevie J, to plan a defamatory media campaign, spread false narratives, and sway potential witnesses in an attempt to manipulate the Let's Breakdown. The outcome of this trial: this isn't just about cheating. This isn't just about betrayal. This is about criminal intent using private relationships to destroy someone's legal standing in court. Although these claims are technically unsubstantiated, the file included screenshots of email threads and even purported text messages between Bambi and Stevie J. One of the most unsettling of these messages read, "Keep poking him, he'll snap. Eventually, once he does, we've got him." These people were now accusing Bambi and Stevie of emotionally manipulating Lil Scrappy into a public outburst, the same one that resulted in his now viral attack outside the court. Mama D read aloud one of Scrappy's letters, pleading for forgiveness. "I know what I did was wrong, but I had to do what was best for me. You were slipping, and I needed to win." Then, looking directly into the camera, she said, "That ain't love. That's war. And my son wasn't going down without a fight." By this point, the fan base was divided. Some were supporting Scrappy and flooding his page with messages that said, "You deserve better. She used you for power and control. Bambi played chess, but you're still the king." Surprisingly, people began to defend Bambi, saying that Scrappy had been emotionally distant and that Bambi was just being strategic rather than malevolent. They claimed that reality TV editing had always portrayed her as the bad guy, and that we, the viewers, had fallen for the ruse. However, a production assistant on Love and Hip Hop revealed her identity. And this revelation completely changed everything, in a detailed voicemail to a gossip podcast. Atlanta claimed that everything that was happening in court was prearranged. Months prior, Stevie J told producers about a custody war scandal that could increase the reboot's viewership. And Bambi agreed in exchange for storyline control and editing rights. Let's pause. If that's the case, the betrayal, the attack, the leaked texts, and even the sealed documents may have all been staged as part of a larger media stunt. However, here's the plot twist. Scrappy allegedly was unaware of it. The same whistleblower, Scrappy claimed that the custody hearings were entirely genuine. Bambi and Steave were allegedly cashing quiet checks and getting ready for a redemption arc on reality TV. When fans learned of this, betrayal felt even more profound. Not just legal, but also financial. Imagine fighting for your child and your reputation while your ex and her covert co-conspirator were secretly turning your suffering into profit behind your back. That's when part 2 of this scandal reached reporters started looking into the Apusi, production company behind Love and Hip Hop, and Tommy Lee and Carly Red, 2 former cast members, became very vocal. Carly tweeted, "Y'all think Stevie just messy for TV? Nah, he messy in real life too. Ask me how I know." Tommy Lee added, "There's no loyalty in that crew, everybody playing everybody for a storyline." Scrappy, just the latest casualty. Court insiders also disclosed that Scrappy had filed an emergency motion seeking a media gag order, arguing that the public spectacle surrounding the case was endangering his mental health and the well-being of his daughter. The motion included a psychological evaluation that stated Scrappy had been going through severe emotional distress as a result of the betrayal, pressure from the media, and continuous harassment from outside parties associated with the respondent. Let that marinate, because while Bambi and Steave, according to the same source who leaked the court docs, Scrappy was falling apart. Which leads us to the third and final level of this mess. They hinted that another name was about to enter the scandal, someone powerful with connections to the courtroom and the show. The hint was vague, so let's just say that the puppet master might be a woman. And she's not new to reality TV. Fans started pointing fingers right away. Was it Mona Scott Young, the producer behind the Love and Hip Hop empire? Pulling strings to get Bambi and Stevie J to stir things up for ratings, because if that's the case, this isn't just a personal feud. This isn't just a legal battle. This is corporate exploitation at its worst. Turning a black father's trauma into clickbait and passing off sabotage as entertainment. And it's not ending. This section comes to a close. We're hearing rumors that Scrappy's legal team is getting ready to subpoena production emails, behind-the-scenes footage, and payment records in an effort to demonstrate that what happened wasn't just left off, with subpoenas being prepared, production receipts being examined, and rumors that a certain reality TV mogul, you know exactly who we're talking about, might be the secret mastermind behind the chaos. Now, buckle up, because part 3 delves deeper into the fallout. By deeper, I mean careers collapsing, reputations plummeting, and someone losing everything. Let's get started. A few days after Scrappy's legal team filed the motion to subpoena production materials from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, an anonymous Reddit user going by the handle Insider ATL Truth posted a zip file that appeared to contain unedited production, call sheets, footage logs, and payment slips for unaired segments. One of the documents included Stevie J's name next to a note that read, "Bonus delivers altercation with Scrappy, target air date." Excuse me, but you're telling me that a physical altercation between Scrappy and Stevie J that just so happened to occur outside a courtroom during a child's custody hearing was actually included in a production schedule as a literal budget bonus? That's not reality TV. It's orchestration. But wait. It gets messier, because hidden in that same folder was something nobody anticipated 2 weeks prior to the attack. Bambi's LLC received a wire transfer receipt from a shell company purportedly associated with the Love and Hip Hop franchise. The amount of the receipt was $9,500, and the description read, "Promotional compensation." The public's reaction to this news was swift, with bloggers calling for a boycott and YouTubers creating reaction videos with titles like, "Bambi sold out Scrappy for a check and Stevie J setting up a father for reality TV ratings." Mama D was correct. Mama D was already back on live, this time in full regalia, drinking from a wine glass, and surrounded by screenshots from the leaked folder. She read them out loud one by one, as if she were hosting her own virtual court show, and then she looked directly into the camera and said, "This don't prove it, then the devil's got y'all fooled. My baby boy got used, played, betrayed." Oh. That everyone knew. Let's talk about what's actually going on behind the scenes. Scrappy, armed with unquestionable receipts. He reportedly spent 6 hours straight the night after the Reddit leak meeting with his lawyer. According to multiple insiders, they were preparing a civil lawsuit for defamation, emotional distress, and fraud, not only against Bambi, but also against Stevie J and possibly the entire production company behind the show. And y'all, he might actually have a case. An Atlanta Daily Buzz celebrity legal analyst who worked on the Wendy Williams divorce case said that if Scrappy can demonstrate that emotional when the heat gets on, the messy ones always scatter first. But Bambi wasn't going out without a fight. A few days later, she released a statement via her representative claiming any financial compensation. His mental health and public image were severely damaged by manipulation and staged scenarios, and he could sue for millions of dollars in damages. This is textbook character assassination under the guise of entertainment. Stevie J went silent, posting nothing on Instagram or Twitter, and only deleted his TikTok and deactivated his comment section. Received was for promotional purposes associated with the show's airing. Miss Bambi vehemently denies any role in a setup or manipulation of Mr. Scrappy. She also stated that all footage was shot in accordance with the terms of the contract and examined by network lawyers before production. Translation: I followed the instructions in the contract and blamed the network. But even that might not be enough to save her because VH1 executives were allegedly holding emergency meetings behind the scenes to handle the scandal's mounting backlash. A leaked memo disclosed that advertisers were the ultimate betrayal came full circle when an XP producer from the Love and Hip Hop franchise came forward in a shocking interview on a YouTube series called TV Untamed. Her voice was distorted, and her face was blurred, and she spilled everything. "We were told to cause chaos, period. We were given doses on the personal traumas of the cast members, Scrappies." She was worried about association with a program that was accused of using real legal trauma for entertainment purposes. She claimed that scripts were disguised as scene outlines and that talent was manipulated off camera with staged text messages, misleading phone calls, and emotional ambushes. The internet went crazy, and CBS started speaking out about the custody case that was flagged as high-potential drama. Even Candy Burus from Real Housewives of Atlanta posted reality TV. Real families are suffering while executives collect checks and pray for Scrappy. However, as the media landscape deteriorated, Lil Scrappy broke his silence and shared an uncut video of himself in his kitchen hoodie, voice cracking without any glam or background music. "I'm not perfect. I made mistakes, but I never imagined that I'd be stabbed in the back like this. I fought for my daughter. I fought for my name, and you guys turned it into a plot." He concluded the video by displaying a picture of himself. Daughter, and saying, "This is the only person I care about winning. For all the rest of y'all, you already lost." And suddenly the condolences poured in. However, keep in mind that the video outside the courthouse where Scrappy lunged at Stevie J had to be restrained and dragged back by security. At the time, most people believed it was just a heated moment. But now that it could be used as evidence, Scrappy's attorneys have asked to view all unreleased Love and Hip Hop video files, alleging the attack was planned to undermine Scrappy's custody claims, and if they can show that the scene was staged. The blame immediately shifts from Scrappy being portrayed as an unstable father to a victim of psychological warfare, who was driven to the brink by a co-parenting arrangement that turned into a toxic production trap. The fallout could be historic, and if this goes to court, Bambi, Stevie J, and possibly VH1 executives could be charged with a variety of civil and even criminal offenses. Depending on what the real scandal is that fans are waking up, people are questioning every plotline, and those who built their empires on lies may now find their castles collapsing in public. This isn't just about Scrappy, it's about every single one of us. But more than that, it could be the end of Love and Hip Hop as we know it, because when the cast becomes collateral damage, when fatherhood is sacrificed for views, and when betrayal becomes a script, the battle is far from over, so stay tuned. If everything we just discovered is even partially true, then what we're seeing isn't just a messy TV moment. It's a full-on takedown of a system built on betrayal manipulation. This lawsuit is the first domino in a chain of destruction that could expose decades of behind-the-scenes exploitation. Any celebrity who has ever been chewed up and spit out by a machine that thrives on chaos. Lil Scrappy was more than just a cast member. He was a father, a man embroiled in a custody dispute, and a real person trying to keep his family together while cameras rolled and money grew behind the scenes. And for a bonus check, a season finale cliffhanger. Now, I ask you, was Scrappy set up? Did Stevie J really orchestrate the meltdown? Was Bambi just a pawn, or was she playing chess the entire time? Tell me what you think. Leave a comment and let me know where you stand. Are you following Team Scrappy? Do you think there's more to this story that hasn't been revealed yet? Don't just scroll past. This is more important than a reality show. It's about preventing real lives from being destroyed for spurious plots. So make some noise. If you believe Scrappy deserves justice, hit the like button. If you're sick of the lies, subscribe. Turn on notifications because, believe me, this saga isn't finished. We have more receipts too in this place. We don't do nonsense. We do facts, even if they are fake and seem more real than reality. Till the next time, remain awake, be outspoken, and be prepared for the revolution is being broadcast on television.